This one still blows my fucking mind because when we were talking about what to watch, because originally we had a plan of what we were going to watch, but
Yeah, we
distribution systems, archaic distribution systems that are a very leading cause of piracy, of course, made it so that we couldn't discuss it. But yeah, actually, it's like, hey, why don't we discuss a Christmas horror movie? Have we talked about this one? Then it's like, fuck, we haven't done any Christmas horror movies. And you're like, I don't even know if I've seen that. And
yeah, I think I have, but it's one of them could I remember sort of thing.
which just blows my mind because this is 1974's Black Christmas.
Yep.
This is arguably one of the original slashers. This was right before Halloween, which everybody thinks of as the OG slasher. And this is a movie that I watch at least 2 or 3 times a year. Like, of course, it's in my regular Christmas rotation. Like, this is usually one of the first movies we watch when we start doing Christmas movies. But I mean, it's just a solid slasher, so I'll watch it throughout the year. So goddamn good.
This is a slow burn.
Oh,
This
you mean
is not,
it's a
you're
story and it has
expecting rush, bodies falling all over the place and, the usual fare of like an 80s slasher. This isn't it.
well, no,
This is
what
laying
started
in the
them. I mean,
atmosphere.
look at Halloween. Halloween was the same way.
Yeah, I'm not disparaging it. I'm just saying that if somebody's watching this back expecting 80s slasher, you're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
This is what I love about the 70s. There had a certain way of camera work and building atmosphere, which I think they need to try and bring back in the movies.
Yeah.
Apart from the technology, this is still gripping. You know what I mean? This still gets you. Where a lot of stuff, especially 80s slashers, are comical now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This isn't.
It was like the mid to late 80s. That was when the flip switched, and it was a spectacle. It wasn't a story. Which I'm definitely not talking shit because I love that stuff. But yeah, this was just a magical time in storytelling that I really feel we only get with certain production companies and certain directors / writers. Like, it's not really something we get anymore. Maybe Robert Edgar's early Ty West, like pre-X Ty West, A24. That's really about it. Like, no one else tells a story like this era.
And that's what it was about. It's not about the visual effects. It's about making you feel dread. And there's an almost non-filtered aspect about it, like the first kill and the way she just left. And she's in the trailer as well, and the girl with a bag over her head. Like, there's something about the 70s could do a bag over the head like nobody else.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that, you feel that. You think they've actually just killed that poor girl just for the movie. Like, it just looks that good. Like I said, I miss that aspect. Yeah, of course, there's cheesy aspects like the point of view camera and the heavy breathing at the very beginning. But you forgive that very quickly because, like I said, just the rest of this is just it's simple as well. It's not overcomplicated. There's one thing that got me thinking as well. Margot Kidder. Everyone knows her for the Superman movies, but she's a bit of a scream queen.
That's hilarious. I always forget that she was in Superman movies because I don't care for Superman. Yeah, that's how I've always known
general
her.
audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, she's always been like a staple in horror movies for me.
It's something that maybe people don't realize that I was loads of them. She was in Halloween. She was in Halloween 2, wasn't it? The original Amityville horror. God, she was in anthologies.
Oh yeah, tons of anthologies.
Horror anthologies. Like loads of stuff. Like, she would not be out of place at a horror convention.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess not really.
With her back catalog, she would not have been out of place.
See, I mean, I was more so thinking because she's dead, she would be she'd be kind of out of place, not so much out of place.
I'm just thinking the corpses. Sorry, film I watched recently, I reviewed Heavier Trip. Have you seen that? Fucking. Oh yes, backstage corp for I'm on a more.
Wait,
just all the black metal jokes.
Oh, gotcha.
There's just that stuff. It wouldn't surprise me at a horror convention. Just wheels up a corpse and just leaves it there. But yeah, during her time, like, everyone focused on her Superman stuff. But yeah, she's a horror actress.
Oh yeah,
quite an impressive back catalog as well.
Definitely. It's so funny too because, like, even in this, she's not the the main protagonist, but god damn it, every time she's on screen, she just chews the scenery.
She's something about her. She's not what I would say traditionally hot in terms of Hollywood.
She was totally 70s hot. Absolutely 70s hot.
She has a thing about her, she's personality and just a presence on screen. I actually thought Olivia Hussey's character was the least sympathetic in this. What was it, Jess?
It's funny. Yeah.
I didn't get the impression she was a pleasant person.
That's funny because I just the thing is for me, and it's probably just because I've watched it so many fucking times. It's always like you kind of wonder why she has the, I guess, aura of her for the first little bit of the movie, and then you find out that she's getting ready to have an abortion, and this whole time she's freaking out because she's got to tell her boyfriend, and she already kind of knows where it's going to go. So that sort of explains, at least to me, why she is acting the way she's acting, and yeah, because I mean I can imagine that's quite the heavy thing to have to tell somebody, but I've always kind of understood it, and it's like she's the counterpoint to Jess's character. Like they balance each other out up until she's gone.
Yeah, like it's a sorority house. They're all getting ready for the holidays and all going off to do things. And obviously Barb, she invites everybody to go on a skiing trip or something, and it's like she's inviting them to go to a funeral or a wake. It's like
right. I mean, she'd rather stay at the sorority house and get plastered than go hang out with her family and not get plastered. I get it.
yeah, it's like one of them. Yeah, I don't want to do it. And she's making it sound like just want to come up to the ski cabin. Oh, it's so horrible. I never did skiing. Tried it a couple of times. It's like, nah, not for me.
Nah,
I have no interest in the culture or the people. A lot of
that's bougie white people stuff. I'm cool without that.
Yeah, no interest. Yeah, and obviously this is the sign of its times, which young kids today won't understand. But we had these things called crank calls, and they were fun.
I mean, my roommate still gets them to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually every couple of weeks, people calling from a private number to harass him. It's pretty funny.
That has to be somebody who knows him.
Oh, 100%. It's one of my brother's friends, I'm pretty fucking sure. It's dumb as hell. Like, personally, I just wouldn't answer the fucking phone. Like, if it says private, I'm not answering it.
Leave a message, don't get back to you, but yeah. It's really that important. Yeah, I generally don't answer private numbers usually. Some cold caller. But crank calls, I mean, just random people randomly calling people was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You'd pick up the phone and some pervert be on the other end. God, this guy really sells it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Billy is absolutely fantastic.
And then they're all gathered around because it's become a bit of an entertainment spot. What's he going to do this time? And you can almost feel the frustration at the other line because now they're not biting anymore, they're laughing, which I think kicks this whole thing off, to be honest, because he's not getting the reaction he wanted. So I think Billy decides he notch it up a gear, and sure, the whole events take place.
Well, he killed before the phone calls, though.
Recent, though, these phone calls have been going on for a while.
No,
They've not been going on for a while. Is that the whole point?
No, they had just started.
I thought the way they're talking, it's this guy back again, and that they were almost that used to it that had been going on for like ages. That was the impression I got from the start.
Yeah, I don't think so, because the whole
didn't
thing
give an exact timeline, but I just got the impression that it's the crank guy and they all gather around. It's almost like a bit of entertainment that they've just got that used to it and blasé that they're not they're not reacting anymore the way he wants them to. Or did I pick us up wrong?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I mean, the thing is, spoiler if you guys haven't seen a movie from the 1970s, he's calling from inside the house. Like he wasn't inside the house until he killed the first person.
Yeah, but I thought that was a recent thing, and I thought that knocking it up because he'd been calling them previously because they all knew who it was, that they expected it, but he'd only just come into the house that night. That's where he changed up the game.
We'll have to think of that next time I'm watching it, because I've never caught it that way.
Yeah, that's the way I was picking up, that they're so blasé, but this is him now escalating, and with the poor wee girl that went missing and stuff, and now he's moving forward, but he'd been doing this for a while. That's what I was getting from it. And I was just wondering if it was because he wasn't getting the reaction. Now he's like, well, I'm going to cause him proper terror.
Well, the thing was,
I don't know, because we never meet Billy. That's a beautiful thing.
We do.
We don't get sort of, but
that's the thing. Like, I had to argue this shit with my roommate because he had never seen it before, and it's Christmas time, so we watched it, and that was the thing. He was pissed at the end. He's like, "We didn't even fucking see the guy." It's like, yes, we do. We see the guy. We see his fucking face. Like, he's in this.
But what I mean is, he's not. Way normally the character's explained, or it's who is it, and it's somebody we don't know him.
Well, I think that's the real horror of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's fucking great. I'm saying more, please. Calm down, for fuck's sake.
Right? No, I agree. Yeah, that's how it should be. It's like we don't need to have shit wrapped up at the end of the.
We saw his face, but we don't know who he was, so we don't meet Billy. He's there, and the only reason we know he's Billy's because he's in the credits. You know what I mean? That's the whole terrifying thing. He's a random person that's fixated on these girls, and well, hell, person. I think Cameron's broke his computer. Like, he's fucking kicked his computer. Oh, brilliant. He got himself all wound up over nothing. He went and broke his computer. That's brilliant. But I got this whole thing that but don't know who Billy is. Like, the only reason we do is because he's in the credits, but nobody in the cast. He's not somebody that's standing amongst them. It's not your usual murder mystery of you know who the killer is, that sort of thing, which is very thrillers and police procedures and that. You kind of know you meet the killer and that's you're trying to determine who it is. Same with slashers, there's always like an explanation because the character becomes the trope, you know. That's what they're trying to build the franchise on. This is purely a standalone movie, though there could be a sequel, but it's designed as a standalone movie of this is somebody random who will then disappear into the night and you'll have no clue who it is. And yeah, that concept is terrifying. If you think of true crime stuff, if you think of the known serial killers, they're only the top portion of the ones that have got caught. You think of what goes on in the world, the ones that don't get caught and might be still out there, you know, that is unsettling. You know, we're supposed to be in this great civilized society, and yet there's stuff happens every day that we've no control over and we'll never find them, or there might be murders happen that we'll never find the culprit for, you know, and they might be still walking amongst us, and that whole concept is frightening. Did you get yourself that wound up? You kicked the computer?
Nope. But for comedy's sake, we'll say yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I told everybody. I said you just
little fucker that I just let out apparently knocked it loose again, and it just fell out this time. So I need to duct tape my fucking outlet or some shit.
Good.
I mean, god damn it, stuff and words. I'm angry.
I don't know why, because I'm like praising this movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't take it as any other way.
How dare you enjoy this movie? Fucking hate it now. So we can have a proper
We're not used
fight.
to this. Us agreeing on shit. It's fucking weird.
It happens sometimes.
Rarely.
Oh my. My favorite character in this is Mrs. Mack.
Oh man, she
is
the fucking greatest. Because it's like surface level, you could tell something's off, and then that first time you see her behind closed doors where she's taking a wee nip, it's like, ah, yes, this bitch is awesome, and just so fucking angry and pissed to be there, but keeps that facade up. The best is her interactions with the dad. Like, I love that.
She wanted to jump his bone.
Yeah, equal parts jump his bones / smack him in the fucking head.
Probably,
so
yeah,
funny.
probably in that rough stuff where she punches, gives him a few punches in the face, you know?
Right.
Like Train Spotting, you know, what's my name, bitch?
Yeah,
Oh,
good times.
That is such a thing in like the 70s. That's why social services went into overdrive in the UK, because there were loads of Mrs. Max in charge of kids, which really shouldn't have been allowed, and like worse. And I remember my old school caretaker. We had a youth club on like a Tuesday night in my primary school, and God, he had come in and he was sozzled. I mean, you're like 5 paces away, the booze of his breath and stuff, and you're like, fucking hell.
Oh, that's great.
That was just Jackie. Nobody gave a shit. It's just Jackie. That's just the way he is. The drink got to him. Ha ha ha. You know, that's it.
Such a different.
Oh dear, such a time to be alive. Didn't do us any harm.
Yeah, exactly. You're still around. You're fine.
We're not getting whining and falling apart at the least little word.
Yeah.
We got proper slapped about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, far be it from me to judge somebody's life and shit they've gone through, but yeah, it's like get smacked around a little bit and then tell me words are hard.
Yeah,
it's like I did, like when my parents were mad, I didn't get yelled at or scolded. Like, I got hit.
And if somebody came to your door and complained, you got hit and put in, even if you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. Oh yeah, fun time. But yeah, we've got Mrs. Max. She's going around. She's like every cliche, like the whiskey cut out of the book.
Oh god, it just all her hiding spots throughout the house. It's slapsticky fun every time she's by herself and trying to pull a bottle out of something else. So goddamn funny.
Yeah. Thing is, I've seen that in real life, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not funny when it's real.
Yeah, it's
definitely not funny when it's real.
Dear. But yeah, the sister and whiskey was just okay. Yeah, right. Yum yum. Let's have some of
that. so much sherry. It's like, man,
that's heartburn.
Good for a nip, but to get tanked off of, I don't know about that.
That's it. That's heartburn. Like,
yeah, 100%. Like, she's got to have an iron stomach, man. That'd be rough.
And Barb's in this is like her apprentice.
Oh yeah,
Mrs. Mac is hiding it, but she's just plain sight.
Yeah, no, she's from the first introduction. She is just pounding them back.
It's the decanter. with the fucking bourbon, just walking about, you know.
Yeah, I mean that fucking knows how to party.
She has the best line in this whole movie. Ho 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 fuck. That's how I feel every year.
Yeah.
I just
That whole scene, it's so wait. I forget. Did she say that at the Christmas party, like with the kids?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
yeah. So
like
I just
giving
watched this
kids
like
lips and
fucking
stuff as
4 days
well.
ago. Yeah. Yeah, I love that scene because it's such nonsense, especially the fact that there's a fucking for no good reason there's a split diopter shot that is so glaring that it's a split diopter shot. And it's like, why? That was not necessary at all, but I fucking love it.
It's I can't really say anything bad about this movie. That's the thing.
Mhm.
This is they've tried Christmas movies and yeah, you feel like they're trying too hard. This isn't
Mhm.
trying too hard.
No.
This is just in the zone at the moment. They're going about it. I can actually feel the characters like not in the mood. You know, yeah, we'll have to go through all this shit, but we're really not in the mood. Just
Mhm.
come on, get on with it already, sort of thing. And I'm
Yeah,
sympathetic.
yeah, that is the thing with this. It's like it feels like a real Christmas experience. Nobody fucking likes Christmas that much. I mean, there's a few weirdos out there, but for the most part, it's something that we do because we're forced to. And all these people act like that.
Yeah, it's a hassle. It's just what was somebody telling me earlier, and it makes sense. It's because it goes on for so long. Every other holiday is a couple of days, lead up everything else, and it's over and done with.
Mhm.
Christmas just fucking drags on and on. Like, they started in September,
Mhm.
and it's like, give it a fucking break, would you? And you're just, and if you're anyway in the customer service industry or anything else, you're just pounded.
Yeah, I
And
fuck that shit.
yeah, it's like, no. And it's the most contrived thing is the Christmas party. I hate that. The works do, where everyone that you don't really get on with and etc. all of a sudden have to go to this thing. And
Mhm.
if you don't, you're the worst in the world and they make a big thing of it. And you're like, for fuck's sake, why? What do we have in common?
Yeah,
To sit in a bar or sit in a meal together. It doesn't make sense. This is painful. You're this position, you have to go, you have to show. No, I don't. Fuck off.
yeah.
And everyone's bitching, and I mean, especially in workplaces where everyone bitches about each other. You know, when somebody leaves and everyone starts bitching about them, and then they come back in, they're all nice and friends, and then someone else leaves, you all bitch. You know, why would you go out voluntarily in your own time and spend money, or even if the company's paying for it,
Right.
why would you voluntarily go out in your own time and spend social time with these sort of people when all you're doing is trying to just earn a living and get on with life?
Right. So I've been pretty lucky. I throw Christmas parties every now and then for my work, but we're all friends. So, it is what it is. Like this last year, we rented out a theater, 502. And yeah, we just got drunk and watched Krampus. It was
Is that back
fantastic.
open again?
Yeah. And it's cheaper.
Sweet.
It's basically like an Airbnb now. So
Mhm.
you take care of everything yourself, which yeah, it was great. But even before then, like the only other Christmas parties I did was at a print shop that I worked at. And that shit was hilarious because I was young as hell. I think I was like 18 or 19 when I was working there. And I was the only person that worked there that couldn't get drunk. So everybody else got fucking drunk as hell. And it was so funny because like, wow, you guys are all responsible adults until Christmas Eve. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's probably all part of the contrived shite that you have to go through. And this movie,
Mhm.
like I said, just sums it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Hey
definitely.
Chris, how are you, man? Happy New Year to you as well.
What's up, dude?
I don't even know how they got roped into this. Must have been for extra credit or something. Had to go and
Well, so
do a
it was a
charity
charity
thing.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Is it was a charity thing because the sorority has to do a charity thing.
All right. Okay. Like I'm not familiar with sorority culture or
Oh
sorority.
yeah, like you're not. Fuck, come on, dude. It's you and
Well,
me. You don't have to lie to
we don't have that over here.
me.
I come from a
Hey,
civilized country.
but
Thank
you
you,
were.
Lord. Well,
Let's.
not lately.
I was gonna say
It's
let's not go crazy. Uh, no, you were here long enough. You're basically a Yankee.
yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I really fit it in. Like, I didn't call people dumb yanks and stuff to their face. Go, what the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? And have people like freaking out at me. The best thing when you go talk about the Space Jesus cult in front of
Oh
members of the
God.
Space Jesus cult.
Yeah, man, you moved to the right fucking state to
Oh
experience
god,
the
that was
states.
that was fucking special.
Uh,
And me being me, I'm like I said, I'm the square peg, always have been. I don't fit in anywhere. I just sort of, and they got little grain of sand in the eye or the stone in the boot. You know, that's me. Just sort of
mhm.
going through the world. And it can be fun at times. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing this charity thing, and they're like, "How did we get roped into this?" Like they're just questioning, "Oh fuck, we got to go through this," and then Barb's is just being quality,
Mhm.
and that's when we find out a young girl's went missing because she
Yeah,
didn't
it's
come
the
home, and then that's
well, and this
well,
is like some major small town olden America type shit. Like, oh,
well, it's set in Canada.
the girl's America Junior. Sorry. But it's like, that's not the kind of shit. Like nowadays, nobody gives a fuck. Oh, unless they're missing for 48 hours, they don't even fucking do anything about it. And this is like, oh, she's an hour late coming home from school. That's like, clearly we need to get out the guns and the torches and go find her.
Yeah, the sort of community spirit sort of thing.
Yeah, that doesn't exist, definitely.
A thing that got me though was were they Beagle Doberman mixes? I
I
have
was
not
looking
seen
at that
Beagles
note.
that color.
It's like, I don't fucking remember what the hell they looked like. As
They're,
soon
they're
as I
basically
saw that,
they're
I'm like, wait, what?
beagles, but they've got the Doberman pincher coloration. Like they're pure beagle shape size,
Mhm.
but they're colored in like they're Dobermans.
I mean, they could just be Canadian beagles.
Could be. It's just I'm looking at them going, you know, when you're sort of scratching your head going, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't bassets or anything, you know what I mean? They weren't any they were definitely beagles. I've had a beagle, you know, and they're amazing. Not a dog if you want something placid, by the way.
No.
They are pure hyper bundles of just howling joy. They'll smell something from 5 miles away and get excited. And you're like,
Mhm.
what the hell? Like, amazing dogs. But they're such a great temperament. But like I said, these were not typical beagles. These were something else. And I don't know, I thought it was a strange mix.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never really considered it, but part of the reason why I love doing this show is seeing your notes and being like, okay, next time I watch this movie, I need to watch it with this and actually consider this shit.
Yeah, I've such a random brain. What can I say? Yeah. That's it's the little things that got that sort of pique my interest, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, right, okay, that's a new thing.
Mhm.
Because you always wonder what they're, you know, the process of putting them together, and obviously there are certain companies have animals, you know, that you use for movie sets and stuff and process, and you just wonder how it all comes together. And why have I never seen this particular breed? I'm sure
Mhm.
it'd be quite popular, but there you go. But meanwhile, this is setting up that the young girls got missing, but then Claire, isn't it, is the first victim?
Mhm.
And once again, with the use of the point of view camera, there's something about the 70s did it so well.
Yeah,
The
it
point
didn't
of view camera and
feel off. It built the suspense because it's like we're getting a point of view of the killer itself, and yeah, it was great.
and she spends the entire movie like her character spends the entire movie sitting in the attic
Mhm.
with a
Just
bag over her
watching.
head, just
Yeah.
rotting away, you know, getting ripe.
Well, it's Canadian winter, and I can't imagine the loft is heated, so could theoretically keep her nice and
Yeah,
chill.
my great uncle, he couldn't be buried to the spring. Like he passed, got this years ago, obviously when I was a kid, but it was like November, December time.
Mhm.
And they couldn't bury him until the spring. They had to put him in cold storage because it literally couldn't get through the girth.
Damn.
It has the permafreeze where he was. Where was he? Calgary direction. Yeah, and that was the thing. They actually can't bury people because when winter hits, that's it, game over. They
Yeah,
have to
man.
just sort of wait, and it's part of the culture.
Yeah, it's definitely gets entirely too fucking cold up there.
Yeah, we've got basically. You'd think this would be the start of it. Once the first kill happens, you'd think it would just be a rampage from them because that's generally what you expect from a slasher movie. But
Mhm.
no, this movie's taking its time and letting it actually, you feel like the time's passed for somebody to be noticed that they're going
Mhm.
missing. And Claire's father appears, and obviously Mrs. Mac decides she wants to be his best friend. But it's just the actual realization. You feel like you're going through real time in this movie. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel slow, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's what makes the horror of this that much better is it shows the reality of life. Like everything helping around it, whereas traditional slasher, it's like everything's focused on the killer and the kills. Whereas that's sort of something that's happening in the background. So it ramps it up because life is mundane, but yet this thing could be happening and you don't even realize it.
Mhm.
Because yeah, it's not until the dad shows up that they realize that she's missing because she was planning on fucking leaving because it's Christmas break.
Yeah, and we're actually slowly seeing it. It's not like, oh,
Mhm.
immediately and rush, rush, rush.
Yeah.
It's still keeping. It's great with the pacing. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is the pacing of this
Mhm.
is really good. You're not feel like all of a sudden, all right, we've got to ramp this up and go ahead. You know, it's
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, that really only happens in maybe the last 10 minutes, and it's earned.
Mrs. Mack's demise though. I'm kind of wondering how that worked. Like that
Talking
was,
about the hook?
yeah.
Oh, I mean, so
That's the only
that's
bit that had me about. I'm trying to figure out going.
I could see it being in the sense of like, it's a loft. Like you've got some shitty stairs to go up to get it, to get in there, and that's essentially where you store stuff. So it would make sense to have some big pulley hook to get heavier items up there. So it's like that's how I've kind of justified this giant fucking hook just hanging around. Like,
It was like
why?
something off a warehouse or like a ship,
Yeah.
a ship, a docking thing of a ship.
Yeah,
And
it's
the way he managed to just catch her so expertly with it and stuff, I'm like, bloody
yeah.
hell. If that was me,
He's an
I'd be
expert.
like, it would take me about 6 goes.
Right. It's like she's gonna die from the blunt force trauma, not actually getting stuck.
That was really bit of like, holy crap. Yeah, that was a bit of plot armor. Yeah, do you remember old scary attics like this? Like this felt realistic. All the crap and stuff, and the feathers still in the bird cage and stuff. And that, like, they didn't bother cleaning it out before they put it up and all. And you're like, oh, like you'd expect a gateway to hell to be up there or something, just.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's guaranteed that it's fucking haunted.
Definitely not anyway. But yeah, but essentially, I love the way he was so obvious about it as well. Like, there's a taxi driver outside. There's every chance he could get caught, but he does it any roads. Like, Billy is obviously not in the right frame of mind.
No.
Yeah, I know, imagine. But he's not methodical in terms of, he's not a careful serial killer. He doesn't care, I think, whether he gets caught or not. He just needs to fulfill his desire. Like, this guy is he's not somebody you can reason with or talk to or understand. He's gone. He's just pure malevolence.
Yeah, it's malevolence and chaos. That's all he is.
Yeah, and I think that's the part of the horror aspect that, this is something you can't deal with, and that's it. End of story. He's decided this is what he's going to do, and if you're going to make yourself available, he's going to do it to you, and that's it. And he doesn't care whether there's a taxi driver out. He doesn't even wait. Like, it's not like he grabbed Mrs. Mack and held her and waited for the taxi driver to go. He didn't care whether the taxi driver came up or not. He'd probably have taken him out as well.
Yeah.
Left the taxi outside and not cared. That's the sort of person he is, and we see that all in this scene.
Well, and we even see it further on, like when he just straight up kills a cop in front of the fucking house.
Yeah, and leaves
Like
it there.
in their car. Like, it's that is the last place you want to leave a dead cop, is in their fucking cop car. In front of the house that you're occupying.
Yeah, he just does not care. We then get the thing where Jess decides to drop it on Peter. That basically she's carrying his baby and she's going to get rid of it and she doesn't want to marry him and stuff.
Yeah.
Right before his recital. To me, that seemed a bit callous.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you wait to tell somebody that kind of shit after the most important thing in their life is going to happen, because she even talks about that, how like when we first met, this was all you had ever talked about, this is all you wanted. Like, he's in a fucking program where he lives there, where he's constantly practicing. So it's like, maybe wait until he does this big thing that his entire life is built towards, and then drop that shit on him, or just do the rational thing and not tell him, because you're
that's where my mind was going. Right, she made it clear when she talked to him she's no interest in being in a long-term relationship or marrying him or anything. This is just a fling. Why'd you tell him? And this is where I don't have sympathy for Jess as a character. She comes across as somebody who likes playing games. There's a nastiness to her.
But see, I don't necessarily see it as that. Like, the thing is, in my opinion, other than obviously the context in which she told him, she did what she should have done. She should have been honest with him, open with him, and all that stuff. Because the thing was, it's not like she wanted to end the relationship. She just wanted to be like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm doing this. You should know because you're semi-involved. And then the whole marriage thing, and she's like, I'm not getting married. I'm not having a kid. Like, this is good where it's at, but I have a life I'm trying to build too. You can either be a part of that, or you can go fuck yourself. That's kind of how I saw it.
I don't know. I think, like I said, no self-awareness, like picking that exact moment. Now, I know maybe it's
the moment was
plot device, partly plot device, but if she's claiming to be as empathetic toward or understanding of where he's at, she wouldn't have done that.
No.
She'd let him done his recital and done it the day after.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked, especially because it's like it had to be right before, couldn't be right after.
But then they set Peter up, oh, is Peter going to be the killer? It's like, no, that's too obvious.
Yeah.
That recital was painful.
Yeah, that was clearly this dude, he snapped and he's going to take everybody else with him.
That's why I'm thinking there was a bit of nastiness and intent to screw it up or something. You just don't understand somebody that would do something like that.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see why that came across that way to you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, by the way, I'm not going to be in your life anymore. This is a fling or what, and see ya. Just, yeah. Oh, God. What else is, he does a couple more phone calls, doesn't he? And this is where they're starting to wonder that Claire's missing. They're starting to get worried.
Yeah, because it starts off, the first couple times, they're upset, but it's a joke, especially because Barb's fucking hilarious. And then it's as soon as it's just Jess taking the calls and not really anybody else is there, that's when it's really starting to ramp up. And yeah, that's when we're getting the introduction of Billy's different voices.
I think it's me. We know as the audience that he's in the house, and it gets dropped earlier on that there's 2 telephone lines, which was a thing back then, kids.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not just 2 phones. It's
That was
2
a
completely separate lines.
that was a big thing actually.
Mhm.
That was not cheap.
No, that was bougie as fuck. Like, I
Yeah.
never had that as a kid. Like, it wasn't until we all started getting cell phones that was a thing.
I did, but then I had a part-time job and I paid for it. And that's all I paid for. That was it. I worked in a paper shop and weekends and stuff, and that's what the money paid for was my phone line, so I could use a dial-up.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Oh, and that's the other fun thing, kids dial up.
Yeah, but
The
just free anyway. So.
of that shit. Like, you're sending an email and then somebody picks up the phone and calls somebody and it shuts it off. And it's like, well, fuck.
Go
Or
on.
vice versa. Somebody's on the phone and you start trying to look yeah, funny shit, man. I don't miss this.
Yeah, but that was sort of dropped that Mrs. Mac has her own telephone line, so we know Billy's in the house. What I can't get my head over is he is obviously doing this full volume down the phone line, and nobody's picking up, like not hearing the squealing and screaming.
I mean, it's
This is
just
essentially somebody going apeshit on the other end of a phone. You would hear that in the house.
it's the testament to the size and the insulation of that house.
Like honestly, you would be hearing that like, and how do you do the goat noises? They were
Yeah, man, that
aggressive.
was like he's if he doesn't have a job in killing, he's definitely got a job in voiceover.
I was thinking Jones out of Police Academy.
Yeah, definitely.
Who the actor can actually do that in real life, which is amazing.
Good old Michael Winslow.
Yeah. And then we meet Sergeant Nash when
Oh
they're
man,
trying to carry out busy trying to find out what's happened to Claire. I
good
love the way as
old
well.
John
Barb's is just
Saxon,
can of
man.
beer, like middle of the police station, no fucks given whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just God, she's so great. Just drunk through the entire movie, does not give a fuck, smoking constantly. Fantastic character.
Yeah, but she's a comic relief. Let's be honest. This is
Oh yeah.
a grim movie. Like this is a seriously grim movie, and it doesn't pull any punches. And the only thing we don't see as a kid, that was murdered. But the fact is that they break the cardinal rule as well of kids aren't safe either. Yeah, so this is not messing about. So Barb's character is there for the comic relief. It's just to let you come down a notch.
Yeah. Well, in the lead up to her death too, it's because of the fact that she is the comic relief, it makes it that much worse because we find out that she's asthmatic, and that's a terrifying thing, having a fucking asthma attack. It's like your body's literally suffocating you. So the horror of that, and then the fact that she gets fucking stuck in her room when she's trying to sleep off everything, it just makes it that much worse.
Yeah, it was just a poignant moment because then that's where it's going full serious now. Okay, yeah, we've dragged along, but now it's time for the horror.
Yeah.
That's it. No, the safety net's getting dropped now.
Mhm.
Barb's gone. There was another movie, and I couldn't for the life of me remember it. And I think it was earlier than this, where there's a killer and they're calling from the same house. It's almost beat for beat the scene, but it's not this one. And it was a big reveal that they were in another room or something. Ah, God, I should have looked it up. But they do another switch around as well. Like you start to wonder if it is Peter because he just happens to appear at a certain time, and then the fact that they're saying, "Oh, couldn't possibly be him," makes you start thinking it is him. And it's not very often in a movie that misdirect works.
Yeah,
It's
especially because it's like
done. But I actually started doubting myself.
We know it's not him because we actually see like the one glimpse we get of Billy. We get before essentially he gets his ass kicked and thrown out the house. So it's like they're trying to misdirect you and you actually buy it, even though you know for a fucking fact it's not Billy.
But then again, I'm thinking Psycho.
Yeah, that's got to be what you're thinking of, because it's funny. I looked it up, and that's actually the first thing that pops up was Black Christmas, about the killer in the house type thing.
What was it?
It must have been because that is one of the classic misdirects. I mean, it's fucking Hitchcock, so it's perfection, anyways.
Could be. Oh well, there you go. It's what I've watched too many movies in my time, especially at a young age.
Definitely 1 or 2 in your day.
The number of horror movies I've watched as a kid, and the plots are just rolling around in my head. And there's loads of ones I'll never be able to tell you the title of, and they were great. And I'd love to visit them. Like there's one in particular. I remember this girl, she's a ghost, and the main protagonist in it, she lost her child and she latches onto this ghost and she says stay with me. She ends up, the last scene's her in a chair stabbed to death, and I cannot for the life of me remember that movie. I've watched shitloads like them, and I think they're all like a 70s era. God, there's another one where the killer basically encases his victims in bronze. I think I've called it up a couple of times. That's another classic 70s movie with this sort of camera work and really brings in the dread. Like there's a particular one, one of the girls gets acid thrown in her face, no messing about. And this movie, Black Christmas, just falls into that. It's just that style of filmmaking that they wanted to make a serious movie. Martin, there's another example.
Yeah.
Great movie. The only thing that ruins that's the blood effects. If they could tone the blood down, that didn't look like paint, it'd be fantastic.
Gotta love that good old fucking 3M blood from that era.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that would ever need touched up is just tone that down a bit so it actually looks like something that would coagulate. Yeah, that was the plan for the day here, but yeah, I'm not seeing it until the New Year's Day. It's not getting released here until
he doesn't get to, so
I don't get to play.
Yeah.
God,
maybe next month.
I'm hearing good things too.
Dude, it is so fucking good, man. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's fucking good.
Fucking angry. Annoyed. It's the one I've been looking forward to this year.
Yeah, and of course, you're gonna get it next year.
Yeah, because
so stupid.
Oh man, and no wonder why people go yar.
That's the thing, and it's so fucking stupid because it can't be more than just pressing a single button to shoot it everywhere all at once, and then nobody has to steal it. You can watch it legally.
Yeah, just we've had this conversation. Like it's just stupidity, and the executive, because they still think it's 1980, and or even during when the releases were, the premieres were, the actual cast traveling to each cinema to do in each city. They still think it's that era. They forget it's the 21st century.
Right.
Ah, dear. Yeah, when Sergeant Nash makes the announcement, on the phone. And even he's fucked up at many times, even because John Saxon's in this as well, which is great, playing another police lieutenant type character.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy that John Saxon's a police officer.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought?
Almost the same. I was almost going to call up shot by shot between this and Nightmare on Elm Street just to see if he actually had the same costume on. That's his gig economy. He just goes about the same costume.
Right. It's not even a costume at this point. That's just what he wears.
Yeah,
it's just turns fucking up. Charles Bronson in anything. He's the same fucking person. Yeah.
I was God, it was Stan Lee did an interview and he was talking about this. When he did like cameos and stuff. They'd bring him in and they'd have a replica of the clothes he was actually wearing. Right, you could change this, but I'm wearing this. But you have to get changed in this. But why can't they just go and set with this? No rules, blah, blah, blah. You have to actually get changed into the exact same clothes that we've bought for you to go and do this 5-minute cameo. And he's like, what? Fucking stupid.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is where it just all kicks off. Like I said, the cop's been killed and just left out there. That Billy is just unhinged, like force of nature.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the Golden Ash. You better not fuck this up. All you have to do is make a phone call. Can you do that without fucking it up?
Yeah, so fucking.
Oh, the fellatio.
Oh yeah, the good old call handles.
Yes.
Oh, it's a new one. It's new, and just the cops fucking losing it, or the detectives, losing their minds over him being that stupid.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I see. It's probably something dirty, huh? And then they fucking lose their shits, and he just walks off.
Yeah, but can you make a phone call without messing up? No. He's in the house. He's in the house. Run.
Right, yeah. Call her. Don't freak her out. Have her get out of the house. Yeah. It's there's definitely a much more subtle.
You can see him actually going, no, but I've been told not to freak you out. Please don't freak out.
Yeah. So good.
We've all worked with people like that though. We've all know the Nashes. We've all encountered those sort of folks. Why are you on this planet? Are you just here to make my life hell? Are you here to make everything difficult? Sometimes you're better just not having staff and somebody can. You're better just doing it yourself. So everything just kicks off. I love that bolt. I want one of those for the cellar. Like that thing is just nobody's getting in. Like that's guard safes, like crown jewels, whatever.
Ton of C4.
Cunk. I'm like, okay, like that was plot armor. That door had plot armor, and then of course we then get Peter. He turns up just in case you were thinking he was or wasn't. At this stage, would know he's not. It's not even.
Yeah, man, he's such a fucking creepy dude. Like, oh yeah, I was up there taking a nap because you weren't home like you were supposed to be. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You just walk into random houses and take a nap in someone else's bed? Like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, especially when there's supposed to be rules and stuff. Like like we even start off with those rules, right? All the boys out. It's after this time. Even Mrs. Max, like, well, she doesn't care, but she's like, we'll have to play by the rules, or else I get sacked. It's like they're trying too hard at this point with his character. I think actually they could have just had him out at this point. He didn't really add anything. With plenty going on. But in the scheme of things, it's not that much to nitpick about because, like I said, this is a really gripping, good movie. It's just, he's more of a blip that they were trying to do something with it and they tried a bit too hard.
He was definitely the misdirect, and they set it up in a way that it's still like, you almost question. It's like, is it possible? It's like, we've seen Billy at this point.
Yeah.
We know that's not Billy, but they still keep hammering it home like, well, maybe it is.
Yeah, that's after the second time I was fine, but when I'm actually kicking the window in and getting into the basement and stuff, I was like, nah, they're not. You kind of knew where it was going, Shane. But yeah, at the very end of it, Billy was great, just and never gets caught. But I just love the fact that an entire squad of police come in. It's a murder scene, but they just put her in bed and leave her. They don't search the entire house. Like, they found her in the basement and they don't think to look in the attic.
Well, I mean, it's Canada. It's different there. They're just like, oh, go to bed, okay. Sorry about that. It's like that's her hospital, I guess.
Dear. I was just you could just picture. I think Nash sets it all up. He just sets up, oh yeah, there are a lot of idiots here, so it wouldn't it wouldn't be beyond the realms of doubt that they wouldn't bother looking up. Oh, let's look up there where Mrs. Mack was caught by a hook and no blood drip whatsoever.
Well, I mean, it was a really thick, girthy hook that probably stopped the blood somehow.
The chances of making that shot, just all the arms coming into place, and the fact she was just left there as well.
I mean, would you fuck up that perfection?
No, you wouldn't. You just like, yes, that's
like, damn, I was gonna do some shit to her, but never mind.
Result. Yeah, and that's basically it. We're just left. That I don't think Jess is going to have a good night's sleep. And yeah, it's all safe now. Yeah, but we don't know exactly what's happened. We're not searching the area, and yeah.
I love the bleak, ambiguous ending like that. Like, it's just, there's no happy ending. And it's great. You don't see that often enough.
That's what I'm saying. Is this why did they break the mold so early? Was it the happy clappiness of the 80s that these became unpalatable and they had to like fluffy them up? That's why we got the silly slashers.
I don't think it was that. I think it was just the studio's understanding that the audiences for those kinds of films were literally just going to see people get murdered. They wanted to see the Fangoria moments because you would get that, months in advance of the release of the film, of like the set visits, the pictures of the effects and all that stuff. And it's like, that's what you were going for. You were going to see, the latest and greatest of special effects. Like, you weren't going for a story. Yes, there was a story, but that was just in the way. It's like going to a hockey game. Like, hockey's cool and all, but you go to see motherfuckers get punched in the face. And then every now and then there's a game that happens.
I suppose fair enough. Like I said, I miss this style of movie making. I miss this style of storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's something they should look at. Not redoing. Don't redo this movie.
No, that's there's been 2 remakes. One was meh. The other, I would like to stab everybody involved with it, but yeah.
But
don't
this style of movie making needs to come back. Like, mix it. Don't just do it 20 times in a row. I want to go back to the time where we had a mix of different types of movies throughout the year. And if you got like a repeat of a particular style, it wasn't for like a year or two's time, but there were still movies in between. I hate the fact that you get one thing that might land and then it just gets beaten to death. Then they pick another thing and they beat it to death. And I think that's why we're so drained now, because this rinse and repeat sort of style of filmmaking. They're just, okay, you like that thing, so here, have it 30 times till you're sick of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we literally can't go any further forward. Let's pick another thing. Have that 30 times till you're sick of it. I'm fed up with that.
It's a fucking Disney model, man. They're failing for a fucking reason.
Yeah, as soon as that company just dies, honestly, it just needs to implode, go bust, and just everything is bought up, just get broken up again.
Right.
We need to step away from Hollywood. We need to start getting the medium budget films again.
Well, the problem is, if you don't have Hollywood, you don't get medium budget films. That's where the budget comes from.
There's nobody else with money. Nobody.
Well, they're the reason why people are able to find the people with money, like the private equity and shit. Like, unfortunately, like, yes, I hate the Hollywood system just as much as the next guy, but it's been around for over 100 years for a reason, because that's how shit gets done.
I just think there's got to be a way. Just there's no people that can convince others with money. Here, fund these projects. Here, this is something different. This is off the beaten track.
I mean, it happens from time to time, but it's not. The thing is, I understand it because, say, I have money, and somebody who is proven to be able to take that money and make it back with some for decades, if not centuries, like if they've done that, I'm going to feel more comfortable giving them my money than somebody else who's never done that before, regardless of whether, first person has the means to do it, but the other person has the drive to do it. Like, I'm going to go with the safe option because I know I'm going to make my money back and then some, versus I might just give this person money and never see a dime back.
Yeah.
So again, I
It's
understand it. I
frustrating.
don't like it, but I
It's
understand it.
frustrating. I just don't know how it would change. Like, I don't want to be one of these people. Oh, movies were so great back in the day, and you know what I mean. I don't want to be that. I want to see new stuff. I want to see it continue. I want to see. You've got your beige, generic movies, but I hate the fact that a movie like this couldn't happen today. Is basically the point I'm trying to make, because everything is just so beige and slack that there's no room for it. It's squeezed out, and I don't know how we get back to reintroducing this again. And maybe it just needs to be a massive collapse, the only way, cleansing fire, so to speak. Maybe it just needs to go bust, that people, it just needs a Great Depression of entertainment so they can restart. Maybe it needs to be that drastic.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem with that is if we actually have that collapse, it's gonna be years before we get anything. It'll be a
True,
dark,
but
dark time.
long time though. No, I mean, people don't stop making things. It doesn't stop. But I think something drastic needs to happen, because it's just depressing just to see that at one point people were inventive and there was enough room for people to push the envelope with movies like this, and
Well,
it
the thing
had
is, though,
space in between everything else.
that hasn't really changed, though. I mean, yes, we get a lot more fluff now than we did. It's definitely not equal by any means, but I mean, that's something. We'd have some fucking fluffy rom-com come out the same time as Rosemary's Baby or the Amityville Horror. Like, there's examples of there being shit that just disappears into the cultural vernacular. Like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But
And
that's fine. That
if
keeps bums and seek. That keeps the normies happy. That's fine. But you always felt like, even up to the 90s, you always felt like there was room for both. I just don't feel like there's room for both now. I just feel like the sludge, the beigeness has overtaken everything, and it
I don't know,
will have
man.
no.
I go to the movies like at least once a month, and it's always to see horror, and majority of the time it's pretty damn decent. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm an optimist by any means, but it's like the thing is, you look at any random year and you could easily compare it to this year or last year or next year, where the stuff that we appreciate, that's what's going to live on. That's what's going to build the cult following. That's 10, 20 years from now, that's going to be some obscure shirt maker is selling shirts of that movie that wasn't necessarily well received, but all the movies that were the biggest and greatest hits of that year, nobody even remembers. So of course, it's one of those things where it's looking back at it, you can see that pattern, not in the moment. But like, yes, we've got a slew of shit movies, but I mean, this year I've been happy with almost everything that I've seen in theaters, and that really hasn't changed too much.
What goes to show, I tried to look at other genres, and there's nothing I want to watch at all. Like, I still watch horror. That's the thing. I can still watch horror movies, even though there's some I'll complain about, some I absolutely adore. I'll still watch horror. But if you ask me what's a sci-fi movie that's come out this year, or what's a fantasy movie that's come out this year, no idea. No interest. Obviously rom-coms and stuff, no interest in. But what's the latest comedy come out this year? Couldn't tell you. Doesn't even land on the radar.
Yeah.
Don't know. Maybe it's just that feeling. It mightn't be actually based on anything, but you just kind of feel like anything that doesn't fit into the homogenous blob is being just squeezed hard, and it's not nice. No need for it.
Well, I mean, that's part of the fun of not being the target demographic for stuff like that. It's like, we are the fans of the redheaded stepchild of cinema that is horror. So it's like, when that comes out, we champion it, we love it, we shout it from the rooftops, see this fucking movie. Might not be for me, might be for you. You don't get that with other genres, because it's just kind of a one and done type of thing.
And plus, horror movies are the only ones actually making money, which is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what's kept the Hollywood alive since its inception.
Like, Terrifier 3 has to be the greatest example of that this year. Like, that is a moment in history of screw you guys, you silly bastards.
Pretty much.
They're still scratching their head that, do you know what I mean? That they couldn't stop that if they tried. That was a force of nature. But there you go, that's that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just think I'm too much in the news articles and stuff and that. You see all the shenanigans going on in the games, and the fact that they're just trying to squeeze everybody out, especially in the social media space and all. I think it isn't the main, because they're in their last legs, they're in trouble. So a wounded animal's most dangerous. And because I'm kind of there looking at it and seeing the kicking out and the lashing out and trying to silence people that just even say didn't like this movie because of that desperate because think the castle's crumbling around them.
Mhm.
But instead of listening, they're going the other route of just trying to like suppress people. Like I just noticed as well, trying to even get news articles and stuff, they're squeezing so much now that websites and all getting buried. Because channel went and stand still for over a month and a half. Like nothing, not even one subscriber, just for a month and a half, not one extra subscriber. Everything then just started picking up again. So that wasn't people are finding this all the time, people aren't leaving. So there was something weird going on. No, I think I might be just a bit too much dialed into all that, what's going on. I feel a bit defensive about it.
That's fair.
There you go. Common sense has to reign. You can only be a complete idiot for so long before reality hits you in the face. And
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that pull that off for life.
You tend to know who they are. You just leave them to it. But there you go. We'll see anyway. That was fun.
Yep. Fingers crossed. 2025 is going to be a year of horror.
That's it. It has been a decent year. And if Ridley Scott can fall down some stairs before Alien Earth comes out, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you could, buddy, just do an Exorcist type, out the window. And then we're going to have a good TV show to watch. There you go, folks. That's it for another one. Until next time, keep updated with the channel. Do the type of things. And until next time, keep it creepy.
Keep it
horrific.